Chapter 7. My heart pounds so hard I think it's going to burst out of my chest. I reach instinctively for my magic, wanting to shield myself somehow as the dragon bears down on us. She skids across the cave, small stones flying up around her claws, and practically pounces on Ari like a dog greeting its owner, her chin knocking him flat on his back. Easy, easy, Ari says, reaching up and running one hand under her chin. I miss you too. Careful, easy. That's a good dragon. The dragon tilts her head back, letting Ari rub further under her chin. Her tail snaps against the ground in contentment? Ari manages to roll over and stand, stepping carefully around the dragon's claws. She gets a little overexcited, he says, looking somewhat sheepishly at me. She's been growing really fast, and she hasn't quite figured out yet that she's too big to keep doing that. Oh, I say. At the sound of my voice, the dragon's eyes dart towards me. Hello, dragon. I want to look at Ari, but I'm afraid to take my eyes off her. Does she have a name? Not yet. I haven't figured out what to call her. I understand the dilemma. It seems impossible to find a word for a creature so massive, so incredible, so magical. Her life force is like nothing I've ever felt before. Sparks of energy flying off of it in different directions at all times. The dragon snorts, still staring at me. I know you've never met another person, Ari says gently to the dragon. But you like people, remember? This is Bryn. She's going to be your friend too. The dragon snorts again. I'm not sure if it's a good thing or a bad thing. I've never had to read dragon body language before. But I'm Seeker Jacob's daughter, and soon to be the next Seeker of the Wild Realm, so I can handle this. Papa taught me what to do. When approaching a strange dragon for the first time, move slowly. Keep your hands down at your sides. Keep your breath steady and soft. Dragons associate breath with fire and may feel threatened if they sense a big exhale. Back away from dragons that bare their teeth or snarl. Only approach dragons whose spines are relaxed. I glance at the dragon's back. Her spines are lowered, almost level with her scales, rather than sticking up defensively. She's relaxed. I take a slow, careful step forward, barely breathing, my hands pressed flat to my sides. The dragon's watching me. It's okay, Bryn, Ari says. I can sense her emotions, remember? She's curious. She doesn't feel threatened. I don't know if I necessarily trust Ari's gift that much. Maybe he's wrong. Maybe he's lying. Maybe he lured me all the way up here so I'd get eaten by a dragon. That would certainly be a way to get rid of the competition. But the dragon's spines stay relaxed, so I take another step forward. She's even more majestic up close. I can make out the pattern of color in her scales. She's not really a solid silver, but shimmers with all the colors of the rainbow when you look closer. Her wings are tucked carefully at her sides. Her massive claws gently knead the earth like a cat. Hello? I whisper. She blinks at me, and suddenly something sharp tugs at my magic. I gasp as my gift is pulled forward, nearly knocking me over. The green glow of my gift fills the air, colliding with sparks of bright silver. She's used her magic to get to know you, Ari explains, a little too late. When my gift touches hers, it swirls and bursts in bright explosions of light. My magic feels warmer suddenly, and stronger, like I have all the life force in the world. The dragon's tail thumps excitedly against the ground, and she releases her hold on my gift. I stagger as my magic floods back into my body all at once. She likes you, Ari says. The dragon lowers her head and rests it on top of her front feet, her curiosity at me apparently satisfied. Don't take a nap, Ari says to her. We have work to do. The dragon huffs. How? I start, trying to figure out what Ari asked. I mean, how? How am I keeping a dragon hidden outside the village? Ari guesses. Or how did I find her? Both? I already told you about the egg. You didn't tell me where you got the egg. Ari sits down in front of the dragon. I don't sense much magic coming from him, but a soft yellow pulse plays across his hands, so he must be doing something. I sit down carefully, making sure I can keep both him and the dragon in my sight. I don't trust either one of them all the way just yet. And honestly, the dragon is too beautiful to look away from. Ari seems to be deciding what to say. I get the feeling that he's unsure whether to trust me too. Neither of us knows the other well to begin with, and being rivals for the competition makes this even more challenging. Let's just say I found the egg and leave it at that, okay? He says. Apparently, I have not been deemed trustworthy. You're going to have to give me a little more than that, I say. In fact, you're going to have to give me one good reason why I shouldn't tell the Seekers about this dragon right now. She belongs in the realm, where she can be with other dragons. I know that, and I will take her to the realm eventually. So why not now? It's complicated. I raise my eyebrows. Sorry, but complicated is not a good enough answer. Look, Ari says, I have a good reason for not telling the Seekers. At least, not yet. I can't tell you what it is, and you're just going to have to trust me. I don't. Why should I trust you if you aren't going to trust me? Ari looks down at his hands, watching the soft golden light of his gift play over them. I think there's one thing we can both agree on. We both want to be Seekers because we love magical creatures, right? Sure. There are also a million other reasons, but I don't correct him. I want to see where he's going with this thought. Wow. He looks up and his eyes meet mine. So you can trust me when I tell you I want to do what's best for this dragon and keep her safe. And right now, that means not telling anyone about her. Not until I figure something out. So you want me to, what? Just not tell anyone you're hiding a dragon outside the village? Yes. And you won't tell me why? No. I frown. Hiding magical creatures goes against all of our village's rules. It's dangerous for the villagers if someone should stumble upon a dragon, and dangerous for the dragon if she gets hurt. So many things could go wrong. And if Ari gets caught secretly hiding a dragon, he's going to be in big, big trouble, and me with him. Which is why I shouldn't agree. But it's that fact, more than anything, that makes me believe he must have a good reason. He's got to have a reason for hiding the dragon if he's willing to risk getting caught. He's probably not doing this just to have an advantage in the Seeker competition. Though, technically, that is exactly why I'm doing it. Maybe Ari's right. Maybe he really is keeping the dragon safe by keeping it a secret, and maybe he just doesn't trust me enough to tell me the truth. In his position, I probably wouldn't trust me either. But it still doesn't feel right. Not when it goes against everything I've been taught in caring for magical creatures. What would Papa do? Papa's priority would be the dragon, of course. He'd do whatever was best for her. But how can I know what's best for her when I don't know what it is that Ari's protecting her from? Okay, maybe I don't have to make this decision right now. I can try and find out more from Ari, get to know the dragon, get more information. That seems smart. Once I know Ari better, maybe he'll tell me more. Or maybe I'll realize he can't be trusted and go to the Seekers. But in the meantime, I'll keep a close watch on the dragon. There are several glaring problems with this plan. One of which is the fact that I'm now equally guilty of hiding the dragon, and will get in just as much trouble as Ari will if anyone finds out. But there's also the major advantage. One that I can't overlook. Caring for this dragon is exactly the kind of training I need to win the competition. It's not just caring for the dragon herself, either. Because once she learns to fly and can carry passengers, she could take us into the realm. Okay, I begin. Let's say that for the moment I agree to help care for her and keep it a secret. What exactly would I have to do? It's pretty simple. Mostly she sleeps at night and hunts in the morning, so it's really only in the afternoons that she needs to be watched. I'm a little worried about her getting bored and wandering off if I'm not around. So you haven't warded this place at all? Not having any kind of spells to keep the dragon in was asking for trouble. Ari holds up one hand and golden light sparkles across it. I'm not very good at boundary spells. I have to admit that I'm not either. While technically anyone in the village can try a boundary spell, only those with the Defender's Gift are going to do it well, or easily. I knew I'd have to learn it for the competition, but I thought I'd have some proper training first. How is she able to be so close to the village in the first place? I ask. Shouldn't the Seeker's boundary spell that protects the village prevent any dragon from coming this close? Ari nods. I think it's because she was actually hatched here. If she was born in the realm and tried to travel, the spells would stop her. But she was just an egg when she was brought in, so maybe it doesn't count. I want to press him for details on how exactly a dragon egg was taken out of the realm and brought here, but for now I decide to let it go. So, how are you going to set the spell to keep her from wandering into town then? I should be able to do it once they teach me in training. I just need to learn how. So what do we do in the meantime? Well, she doesn't really wander off as long as there's someone here to entertain her. So just show up and keep an eye on her while I'm at training. And make sure she's eating, that sort of thing. And what have you been feeding her? Ari tilts his head in the direction of the cave's opening, and I nod. That makes sense. Dragons typically go for larger fish and sea creatures in the ocean. They're strong swimmers who can dive deep and hold their breath for ages, hunting prey in the depths of the ocean. Of course, they'd also eat large land animals if we let them, which is why seekers are careful to maintain the protective spells around the territories of other creatures in the realm, as well as the villages and the surrounding farms. That way dragons don't carry off our sheep. But she flies back when she's done hunting? I ask. She doesn't go closer to the village? Well, she doesn't exactly fly yet. She mostly just swims to hunt fish. What do you mean? I saw her flying when we walked up. Well, she hovers sometimes, Ari says. But it's mostly straight up and down. I don't know how to teach her to move around. I don't know how to do that either. Papa never said anything about teaching baby dragons to fly. They're supposed to have parents around for that. Poor dragon, I say. She's an orphan. Maybe not. Maybe her parents are up in the realm searching for her. They'll be reunited, eventually. Maybe. But she's alone now. No, she isn't, Ari says. She has me. And now you, if you're up for the job. Of course I'm up for it, I say indignantly. And Ari grins. Somehow I had a feeling you'd say that. So, what else do you need me to do? Here, he says, getting to his feet in one quick movement. Let's wake her up and I'll show you. Ari's approaching her already before I can make any comments about whether or not this is a good idea. He kneels down in front of her head and gently rubs her nose, right between her nostrils. Hey, dragon, time to wake up. We need to show Bring your tricks. The dragon cracks one eye open, assesses Ari, and closes it again. Come on, Ari says, giving her scales a pat. The dragon huffs through her nose, blowing Ari's springy curls back, and I tense. If she adds flame to that breath, she could easily set him on fire. But Ari seems unconcerned. He reaches into his coat pocket and rummages for something. Look, dragon, I brought you berries, he says in a sing-song voice. The dragon's eyes fly right open. In the space of a breath, she raises her head, stretches to her full height, and her tail slams into the ground so hard it trembles beneath my feet. She loves these things, Ari says, placing a small red berry between his fingertips. Let's show Bryn what we've been working on, Ari says to her, and takes a few steps backwards. Stay. Ari, I say, dragons are not dogs. They're much more intelligent than that. You can't expect them to follow commands like a dog. But seekers train dragons all the time, Arya says. Right, but only because they form a mutually beneficial partnership with the human who trains them, I say, quoting Papa. This is mutually beneficial, Ari says. In this case, she wants a berry, and I want her to learn to stay so she doesn't get in trouble when we're not around. Watch. Ari takes a few more steps while the dragon watches him very intently. Her tongue flicks in and out, but she doesn't move. Good dragon, says Ari. Now catch. And he throws the berry up in the air. The dragon's wings snap open, and she leaps forward so fast I have to scramble out of her way. She shoves up from the ground, her wings beating frantically, with so much force that the tremors knock me off my feet. Above me, the dragon stretches her jaws and snatches the berry out of the air. Now that I'm slightly less overwhelmed by the sight of a dragon in the first place, I can see what Ari means about her not really flying. She hovers in place in the air, swallowing the berry, wings flapping somewhat jerkily, and then drops to the ground directly below. This will keep her entertained for hours, Ari says. So just bring some berries and you'll be fine. I brush the dirt off Mama's coat and stand up, a little shaky on my feet. Does she know any other words yet? I don't think so. We've just been working on stay. She doesn't really like that one. Well, I told you dragons are too intelligent to want to stay on command. She might not want to, but until one of us learns how to put up a decent boundary spell, she's just going to have to learn, Ari says, tossing another berry that the dragon snatches up quickly, not even needing to get airborne this time. Her tail thuds the ground again in satisfaction, and I brace myself against the impact. Getting knocked off my feet twice in a row would start to get embarrassing. She really needs a name, I say. I feel weird just calling her Dragon. Something about her color, maybe? Like it's how it shimmers? Ari sweeps a loose curl behind his ear and considers. Like moon or something? Something like that, I agree. Though moon doesn't seem quite right. Star? Closer, but Runa has a horse named Starlight, so we need something different, more unique. Who's Runa? That girl on the farm? Yeah. I forgot how little time Ari spends with the rest of the kids in the village. Everyone knows everyone else, but I guess Ari's more of a stranger. Which reminds me how little I should trust him. How about something in the old language? Ari asks, distracting me. Huh? For a name? Oh, that could work. The old language feels fitting for such an ancient species as dragons. Nobody except for the village elders speak much of the old language anymore, though, so I don't know many words. Do you know any of the names? Svana, he says. I think it means swan. I glance at the dragon. Again, she's huffing at Ari, demanding more berries. Still not right. She's not exactly graceful like a swan, is she? Ari ducks a blast of hot air as she snorts at him. Fair point. How about... I close my eyes, trying to think of inspiration. I want something related to nature. I picture a landscape bathed in moonlight, with flowers shining. How about Lilia? I say it just like they did in the old language. It means lily, I explain. According to my papa, it was my grandmother's name. I never met her, but she told me stories about what a strong naturalist she was, and I always thought her name was fitting. Lilia, Ari repeats, looking at the dragon. At the sound of the name, she tilts her head and blinks at him. She's probably just trying to figure out how to get more berries, but still, her attention seems like a good idea. You know, I say, because lilies are natural and beautiful, and I like it, he says. Lilia it is. The dragon, Lilia, snorts again, and we both laugh. See, I knew you'd be the perfect person to help me out with this, Ari says. You've already come up with a name in 5 minutes, and I had days and couldn't think of anything. It's true, I joke. You clearly needed my help. I was thinking, Ari says. You could watch her while I'm at training, but then when will we meet up to train together? I promised to teach you everything they show us at the training sessions. It's a testament to how distracted Lilia is that I completely forgot about that. I'm supposed to be getting Ari's help to win the competition. I cannot lose sight of that goal. Well, I say, I'll come here when my parents think I'm at training, but of course you won't be here because you'll be at training, and then they'll expect me for dinner afterwards, so it'll have to be at night like this, I think, after they're asleep. They won't let me just disappear for hours without an explanation. Ari shrugs. I can get away from my mother at night easily. How about you? It was easy to sneak away, I suppose. It was a little nerve-wracking in the moment, but no one woke up, so I guess I can do it, I say hesitantly. The idea still doesn't thrill me. I've never done anything like this before, and now suddenly I'm lying to my parents and sneaking out at night all in the same day. But it's for the competition, to become a seeker, and right now, nothing is more important. Actually, yeah, I'm sure I can do it, I say firmly. Ari nods, and it's settled. Well, I say, if that's all I need to know, I guess I'd better get going. Because my parents might wake up and... Ari shakes his head as I prepare to leave. I'll wait here a while longer and make sure she gets back to sleep. I wouldn't want her wandering off at night. Right, I say. Well, for some reason I don't want to leave. Probably it's because I'm in the presence of a real beautiful dragon, a creature I've dreamed about seeing my entire life. But also, if I'm being honest, I think I'm a little reluctant to leave Ari alone. Which is silly. He's been doing this for himself for weeks, judging by Lilia's size. There's no reason he needs my help right now. And anyway, why should I care when I clearly can't trust him? He hasn't told me the truth about anything, and I still don't know if he's going to keep his word and help train me. He could be planning to lie to me about what's happening in training, to make sure I can't beat him out during the competition. He's my rival, and I can't lose sight of that. If meeting Lilia has taught me anything, it's that I want to be a seeker more than ever now. I can only imagine getting to work with her and more creatures like her every day. I don't care about Ari, I tell myself. Don't care, don't care, don't care. Bye, I call to him, turning my back quickly so I don't lose my resolve. See you tomorrow, Bryn. I walk briskly out of the cave without looking back.